You do it every single month. You meticulously plan your budget. You track your spending. You set these big goals. But then you look at your bank account and the money is just gone faster than you can even account for it. If you're feeling frustrated, stressed out, and are constantly wondering why your budget just isn't working, you've likely fallen into a few invisible money traps that are practically designed to make you fail. The good news is once you can see them, you can fix them. So let's get into the five biggest reasons your budget is failing and, most importantly, how to fix each one, starting right now. I am going to break down the invisible mistakes that are derailing your finances and give you a clear, actionable plan to finally take back control. You remember to budget for your rent, your car payment, and your utilities, but what about the annual car registration? Don't judge it, don't try to change it, just track it. Use a simple notebook, a spreadsheet, or a budgeting app to see where every single dollar is actually going. This isn't about making you feel guilty. It's about gathering data. You can't build a realistic plan without a realistic starting point. You feel shame and guilt around normal spending, which creates a toxic cycle. It's not about what you're cutting out, it's about what you're intentionally making room for. Is it that morning coffee from your favorite local cafe? A monthly dinner out with friends? That gym membership that keeps you sane? Instead of eliminating these things, build them directly into your budget. This becomes your fun money or guilt free spending category. By planning for these expenses, you remove the guilt and reclaim the joy. Your budget should give you permission to spend money on the things you love, totally guilt free. You might have a budget, but it's a set it and forget it document. How would you know if you're on track? You'd have no idea where you're veering off course or why. So many of us underestimate how much we truly spend on the small things, the daily coffee, the impulse buys at the checkout, the forgotten subscriptions that are silently draining our accounts every month. This is what I call invisible spending, and it's one of the main reasons money just seems to disappear. I promise you will find services you forgot you were even paying for. Cancel everything you don't actually use or value. For businesses, this means reviewing all software subscriptions, vendor contracts, and other recurring services. You created it once, maybe 6 months or even a year ago, and you haven't touched it since, but life changes, right? A static budget doesn't account for your changing goals or financial situation. It's like trying to use an old, outdated map to navigate a city that's been completely rebuilt. It's not just unhelpful, it's actively leading you in the wrong direction. Failing to review and adjust your budget regularly is a guaranteed path to failure. Your income might go up or down, you might move to a new city, have a child, or start a new business venture. According to data from the Federal Reserve's 2023 survey, 37% of adults would have to borrow money, sell something, or simply couldn't cover a surprise $400 expense. Without an emergency fund, any unexpected event turns into a full blown crisis that derails your entire financial plan. It forces you to whip out the credit card, take out a loan, or raid your long term savings, which can set you back for months or even years. It's not about restriction. It's about having control and creating freedom. This isn't just a budgeting mistake, it's a structural flaw in your entire financial foundation. An emergency fund isn't optional. First, build a realistic budget based on facts, not a fantasy, and use sinking funds to plan for those irregular costs. Second, reframe your budget as a permission plan that includes guilt free spending on the things you love. Third, make tracking your spending a consistent daily habit to eliminate surprises. Fourth, review and adjust your budget regularly so it stays aligned with your life and the economy. And finally, build an emergency fund as your non negotiable financial safety net. It's the essential buffer that allows your budget to bend without breaking when life inevitably happens. Do it with yourself, your partner, or your business team at least once a quarter, but preferably once a month before you get aggressive with paying off debt or investing. Build this buffer. And if you want to learn more about how to put your money to work, check out my video on beginner investing right here. Thanks for watching. This is your dedicated time to look at what worked and what didn't. Did you consistently overspend in one category? Maybe that category's budget needs to be adjusted. Did you get a raise? Now is the time to decide exactly where that extra income will go towards savings, debt, or investments before it gets swallowed by lifestyle creep. And just as importantly, prices change. Inflation is a real and powerful force that can make a once perfect budget completely obsolete. That weekly grocery budget of 250 that worked last year might not even fill half your cart today. This simple action can free up hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars every year. You create it on the first of the month, and then you don't look at it again until it's way too late. Without diligently tracking where your money is going, creating a budget is a completely pointless exercise. This means actively looking for ways to cut costs in your flexible spending categories. Maybe it means switching to generic brands at the grocery store for a while, negotiating your bills like cable and internet, or carpooling to save on gas. The key is to be nimble. Your budget should be a dynamic tool that helps you adapt to changing economic conditions, not a rigid set of rules that shatters under pressure. Use a budgeting app that syncs with your bank accounts, or just commit to a 5-minute review of your bank transactions every evening. The goal here is to create a feedback loop. When you see you've already spent 80% of your grocery budget with a full week left in the month, you can adjust your behavior before you overspend. Set up automatic transfers on payday to your savings, your investments, and your sinking funds. Pay yourself first. This way, the most important financial moves happen in the background, without you having to make a disciplined choice over and over. You might have a revenue forecast, but if you're not tracking invoices, overhead, and daily costs, you're flying blind and you simply can't make smart decisions. What's left over is yours to manage for the rest of the month, including that guilt free spending you've already planned for. You feel bad for buying something, which makes you want to avoid looking at your finances, which then leads to rebellion spending where you overindulge just to feel like you are in control again. A budget that feels like a prison will always lead to an escape attempt. It shouldn't be about suffering. It has to be about aligning your money with what you actually value. It really helps the channel grow, and you won't miss out on our future videos. The birthday gifts you have to buy in March, the holiday season in December, or for a business, that piece of equipment that will inevitably need replacing. These aren't really emergencies. They're predictable, just infrequent expenses that we all conveniently forget about, and when they pop up, they blow a giant hole in your carefully crafted but completely fictional budget, forcing you to pull from savings or worse, go into debt. Hello, I'm Somnath, and welcome to Dollar Cents. You're budgeting for the person you wish you were, not the person you actually are. This is the most common trap of all. This is just a separate savings account specifically for those irregular expenses. List out all those non monthly costs for the whole year: holidays, birthdays, annual subscriptions, car maintenance, add them all up and divide by 12. That's the amount you need to set aside each month. By planning for these expenses, they stop being budget busting emergencies and start being predictable parts of your financial life. You sit down, full of optimism, and create this fantasy document. You tell yourself you'll only spend $200 on groceries for the month, or maybe $50 on eating out. Traditional budgeting focuses almost entirely on what you can't do. Don't buy that coffee, stop eating out, cancel all your fun subscriptions. It feels like a diet of financial deprivation. And what happens when you're on a super restrictive diet? You might stick with it for a week or two, but eventually your willpower cracks and you find yourself binging. It becomes a game of making the math work on paper, but it has no connection to your real life. Today, we're tackling one of the most common and soul crushing financial problems out there. It's that feeling of doing everything you're supposed to do, but still ending up broke, stressed, and feeling like you've failed. It can make you feel like your budget is a cage, not a tool for freedom. It's the reason so many people in their personal lives and in business just give up entirely. But here's the reality check: your future self is still you, with the same habits and the same temptations. But I'm here to tell you something important. It's probably not your fault. Section 1. Your budget is a work of fiction, alright. The first major reason your budget isn't working is that it's completely unrealistic. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it the planning fallacy, this core belief that your future self will somehow be more disciplined and resilient than your past self has ever been. This fantasy budget also ignores one of the biggest budget killers out there: irregular expenses. The fix: you need to swap fiction for facts. Step 1 is to track your actual spending for at least one full month. Next, you're going to create what's called a sinking fund. Section 2: your budget is all restriction, no reward. The second reason budgets fail is purely psychological. You've made it a punishment. Think about it. The exact same thing happens with your money. When your budget is all about restriction, your brain starts to rebel. The fix: you have to reframe your budget from a restriction plan to a permission plan. Here's how you do it. First, identify what truly brings you value and joy. Second, automate your success. Willpower is a limited resource, so stop relying on it. Hey, if you're finding this helpful and you're ready to stop fighting with your finances, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to Dollar Sense for more practical advice like this. Section 3: you're operating in the dark. The third mistake is a huge one. You're not actually tracking your spending in real time. It's like trying to lose weight by writing down a meal plan but then never checking if you're actually following it. For a business, this is the same as not keeping your books updated. The fix: make tracking a consistent, non negotiable habit. And look, technology makes this easier than it's ever been. You also need to conduct a subscription audit. Go through your bank and credit card statements and list out every single recurring charge. Section 4: your budget is stuck in the past. The fourth reason your budget is broken is because it's static. A budget is not a stone tablet. It's a living document that needs to grow and change with you. The fix: schedule a mandatory budget review meeting, put it on your calendar. During times of high inflation, you have to be even more proactive. Section 5: you have no financial buffer. Finally, the fifth and perhaps most critical mistake: you're budgeting down to the last dollar without an emergency fund. You've given every single dollar a job, bills, expenses, maybe some savings for a vacation, but you have no safety net. You're living on a financial tightrope, and the slightest breeze, like a flat tire, an unexpected medical bill, or a broken appliance, is going to send you tumbling straight into debt. Data shows that a huge number of people are in this exact position. The fix: build an emergency fund. Make it your absolute number one priority. Once you hit that initial goal, keep going until you have 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses saved up. This is the fund that will protect you from a major event like a job loss or a significant medical issue. Knowing you have this cushion provides an incredible sense of security. It's the difference between a minor inconvenience and a financial catastrophe. It's what empowers you to stick to your budget long term because you're actually prepared for the unexpected. Here's the thing: budgeting isn't really about math, it's about behavior, psychology, and having the right systems in place. So let's do a quick recap. By avoiding these common mistakes and putting these fixes into practice, you can transform your budget from a source of stress into your single most powerful tool for building the life you truly want. This is Somnath from Dollar Sense, helping you master your money, one smart decision at a time. What was your biggest takeaway from this video? Let me know in the comments below which one of these mistakes has been holding you back.